Hello everyone, I know it has been a while since our last upload here in our channel. We're just doing some back-end business stuff and changing our direction for the next year and a couple more years ahead. So we are still in the business of adding value to your journey as a creative entrepreneur. So for those who are new in this channel, you're watching Frame 316 Media. So this is basically a channel that helps you become more creative as an entrepreneur, specifically using videos and storytelling. So today, I think this is the first episode that we'll be doing for this year. I think we're past January, mid of January right now. So I want to talk about something that you can use for the year, especially if you are planning to create a lot of video marketing content for your brand. So I want to talk about how you can be creative in doing these videos. Whether it's a marketing video, it's a pitching video, it's an ad, becoming, how to become creative in this aspect is it's not really rocket science. It takes a lot of practice, and of course it takes a lot of courage to step into in doing things that you're not comfortable in doing, because other than that, I don't think there's any excuse why you should not be doing your videos for your brand. So stay tuned, we're gonna be discussing that in today's episode. So how to be creative in doing your brand videos? It's not rocket science. You don't need to be that great. You don't need to have the most expensive equipment. So I have a few tips for you which you can use as a guide that would help you kickstart your creative journey in creating your own videos for your brand. So if you have anything else that you want to add, you can always add it in the comment section. And if you have any questions regarding what I'm going to be discussing today, just feel free to comment on this video below that you're watching right now, whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube. So when you're doing this sort of videos, most of the companies that I've talked to, what they are trying to figure out is, Robert, what am I going to talk about? We don't usually talk about a lot of things. All we know is that we need to sell our products or we need to sell our services. So one thing that you can talk about, which is going to my first tip, is talk about the people you work with, but focus on their passion. You don't want to talk about them that is not really related to selling a service or a brand, but you want to talk about them because you want to bring their passion. You want people to know about the culture of your work. You want people to know that why you are successful, or probably why you are struggling in your company right now. But you don't need to go into details such as what's their favorite food, what movies do they watch, but you talk about their passion. You ask them questions like, what keeps you up at night, what inspires you to go to work every day. And I tell you, those questions will lead to answers that will really be an engaging material for your target audience to watch. So going to my next point, while we are in the topic of talking about the people that you work with and focusing on their passion, is you need to be brave enough to have an easy conversations. What do I mean by an easy conversations? First and foremost, if you're a small company and you really are not in that space where you always get around to talk to your staff, to your employee, to your partners, or even to some customers who you have already established a relationship with. If you have the courage to start going into to have an easy conversation with these people, I tell you, you would get a lot of insight, you would get a lot of information, you will get a lot of ideas which you can write and compile and see where it all maps out, in terms of why people care about your brand and what needs to be improved in the way you serve your customers, what needs to be improved in terms of your product delivery. So having this brave conversations with people would lead you to really have insight, and having insights, you would have a lot of things to talk about. Okay? Most important things that I want to talk about today is do not let technology limit your potential. You don't need to have the most expensive cameras and the audio equipment. Just use a smartphone and capture the heart of your brand. That's a good start. For some brands that I talk to, their question is, what camera should I buy? Do I need a really good audio equipment? Of course, definitely the answer to that question is yes. But on the question on that looks like this, do I have to wait until I have a camera, or do I have to wait until I have a microphone? You don't. Smartphones are really amazing these days. If you live back in our days, back then we don't have smartphones. Our cameras are really big. Right now, you can just pick up your smartphone, start filming. Actually, you can do rehearsal using your microphone. Because most brand owners, most small companies, they're not used to talking in front of the camera. So that's a good practice. Point your smartphone, near enough so that you can see your face and start talking. When I started doing this YouTube videos, it really felt really awkward because, let's be honest. It's now easy to talk to yourself facing the camera, but as you keep doing it, I would like to think that I am more confident compared to my first video, but as you keep doing it, you would really grow confident. And the more confident you become, the more space there is for creativity. That's my point. Okay, next, don't forget to ask questions. Why? Why do I need to ask questions? Because asking the right question, this is where all great engagements start. We all have to be honest with ourselves. Meeting friends, really good friends, going into a relationship, whoever your relationship is with right now, it started with the right question. And in that same point, if you have the wrong question, most likely it would also ruin a relationship. Whether it's a business, it's a friendship, or it's an intimate relationship with someone, it's gonna ruin it. So even in business, if you learn to ask the right questions, like instead of asking people, let's say you have a client, complaining about how he expected something else, and then you deliver something that is like not at par to their expectations, which usually happens. What sort of question would you ask to that client? Would you ask, is it my fault? That's a question, right? Is it my fault that we are stuck in this project? But what if you rephrase your question like, how much time do we have left? We're willing to improve on this, but how much time do we have left? Or, are you willing to compromise on a few things going from here to this point? So those are the way that we ask questions. And we're talking about creativity, not the technicality of doing a video. Creativity is a lifestyle. It all boils down on your confidence to talk about things, on your confidence to ask questions, and asking the right questions would always lead to better engagement. Asking the wrong questions, forget about it. Okay, so start practicing. Call your friend and hey, can we do a role play? I'm gonna ask you a series of questions. You tell me which questions are a bit off and which questions are really would lead you to spend more time talking to me. Okay, so that's a good point. Lastly, this one is more applicable to small companies. The challenge of small brands in doing videos, marketing videos, YouTube videos, advertisement is, of course, budget and time and manpower. So if you're a small video, make it a practice to document your work. When I say, when you have this, what do you call this burden, like, oh, I need to do another video this week. Oh, I need to do 2 more videos in the next 2 weeks. But if you look at it as a process that's only documenting what you're doing, documenting the fun in your work area, documenting how people enjoy working with you. Documenting how you open your door and, probably doing a parallel story. Like, this is probably how it looks like when I open my door first time in the morning. But for our clients, you just need to walk in. Something like that. I'm just talking out of my head. But what I'm saying is practice documenting. I tell you, when you start documenting your work, that doesn't feel like a burden of producing, that you are producing a video, that you're filming a video. You just want to document a lot of things, and you put it on a hard drive, then you put it together. And if you document your work from morning to evening, I tell you, that's like a good few months worth of 30-second to 1 minute video that you can use on your social media. And if that's not good news, I don't know what is. Okay, so those are the tips that I have for you today, and I hope that you find value in everything that I have shared. And if you do, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you would not miss out on videos like this in the future. So thank you for watching, and I'm gonna see you in our next episode.